Ah, Mii Games, the only games where you can play tennis is Kim Jong-un. It's like, holy crap, they put me in a video game. Today we're going to be talking about all sorts of the different Mii games across Nintendo's casual era or 3DS, DS, Wii, and Wii U era. And for those of you who didn't know, Mii games are games centered around our favorite customizable abominations. And first we'll start with... Okay, where's the transition slide? Where is it? Start it now! Wii Sports was one of the first games to utilize the Mii's, and it did very well, but it was a pack-in title with the Wii, so does that really count? It was basically a tech demo to show how good Hitler would be at baseball if he was still alive. We're gonna go over all of the sports individually, starting with tennis. In tennis, you can... to win. In baseball, you just basically swing the remote like a bat and throw, but not throw the Wiimote to pitch. Although this is probably one of the most simple games on Wii Sports, it's definitely my favorite, mainly due to nostalgia, but shut up. Boxing is basically just punching and blocking with the Wiimote. I don't really have that much else to say about it, except that people started their own religion out of mat. Golf and bowling are just swinging Wiimote to do thing. But out of all of the games, these ones are probably the most janky, they just don't work as well as the other ones do. But luckily, they fixed most of these issues in its sequel. The thing I like most about this game is just that you're just meant to have fun, you're not supposed to really take it seriously. It's not supposed to be complex, it's supposed to be simple. This game is really great, especially for just a pack-in title, and people liked it so much they made a sequel. Wii Sports Resort was essentially a more expanded upon Wii Sports. They fixed most of the jank of Wii Sports with Wii Motion Plus, which I found out actually serves more of a purpose than making your Wiimote longer. They also added a lot of new games. I'm only gonna go through the new sports on this one, so no bowling or golf. Basketball is basically everyone's favorite game, including me. There are two modes in it, but let's be honest, who played 3-point contest? When someone asks me, do I like NBA 2K or Madden more, I say Wii Sports Resort Basketball. Yes, I do have no friends, how could you tell? In swordplay, you. And you also. To win. In cycling, you. In power cruising, you. What is this? In Frisbee, you throw but not throw your Wiimote closest to the center of the beach. Despite archery's weird control scheme, it works pretty well. Wakeboarding is just jumping the wake while the announcer gives you some encouragement. Good! I'd say table tennis is like a better version of tennis from Wii Sports. You can't just shake your Wiimote all the time and win. And last and definitely least, we have canoeing. Canoeing, you literally just move your arm. It's terrible. It's the worst minigame of all time. This game is way better than Wii Sports, but its highs are really high and its lows are canoeing. So yeah, now we're gonna move on to the next game. Tomodachi Life is actually a sequel to a Japan-only game called Tomodachi Collection. You might be wondering, why is it in Japan only? That's because they couldn't make their text-to-speech software work with English. Originally, it was gonna be a completely different game called Fortune-Telling Notebook for Adult Women. Okay. So then they turned that into Tomodachi Collection, and it did very well. It sold 100,000 in its first week, and 1.7 million total. So Nintendo saw the big money coming out of Tomodachi Collection, and they said, we should make a sequel. That's basically how Tomodachi Life became a thing. Tomodachi Life came out in 2013 in Japan, and it came out in 2014 for the rest of the world. Jeez, favoritism, it's like Nintendo's based in Japan or something. In Tomodachi Life, you have an island that can have up to 100 Miis, so yeah, put as many Hitlers as you want. And in this game, you can see said Miis interact with each other. In this game, you can see your Miis interact by becoming friends, getting into fights, getting in a relationship, getting married, getting divorced, and not being able to see your kids except on the weekends, you know, all sorts of things. This game is just so fun to me. You can make songs that are just totally brain dead. Bruh. Give people custom lines to say in the most appropriate of situations. Cry yourself to sleep because another Mii insulted your Mii. There are also tons of events like rap battles. Yep, those exist. Different markets where you can get a bunch of different things. There's also a Mii RPG, which I think is a stupid idea. No one will ever do that. There's also an unusually large amount of foods in this game. I don't know why there's so many. Who's like, yeah, how about we just add a raw habanero pepper for no reason? And that proposal minigame is so hard. I think it would be easier just to propose in real life than to do this minigame.
Would you marry me?
I really like the minigames, even though they're really simple, but they can get really repetitive over times, and sometimes they're just straight up rigged, and sometimes on the zoom minigame, it's just completely white. Oh yep, that's obviously a rocking horse right there. Recently, Tomodachi Life has had a bit of a resurgence lately. A lot of YouTubers are playing it right now, like Professor, Yub, Call Me Kevin, Funny Green Hair Man, and Funny Purple Hair Woman. Please play Tomodachi Life again, Dan TDM. I will watch your channel again. I really hope more people find this game. It's a really great game, but there is one glaring flaw with it. There needs to be more content. After only about like 3 weeks of playing this game, you can discover most it has to offer, which is not a good thing. And that's why I think this game really needs a sequel. Now we're gonna go to the next game. Utopia released in December 2016 Japan and in July 2017 worldwide, and I think it's really underrated. Although it sold 1 million units, it didn't sell nearly as much as any of the other Mii games. No one really talks about it that much, and I just want to tell you why I think it's a great game. Miitopia starts with explaining the story, which is really simple. To sum it up, it's basically just, oh no, the Dark Lord is stealing everybody's faces, you have to get them back. I think it's great for what it is. It's not trying to be some epic story. It's not supposed to have some long, overarching storyline. It's just a fun story. And I love how you can make the Miis be whatever you want. There's a worrying amount of people who've made Matt every single character in the game. The combat, I think, is really simple and fun. So basically, you have two types of moves. Moves that don't use magic points or MP, and moves that do. Moves that use MP tend to do a lot more damage than normal moves, but you only have a limited amount of MP. I also love the friendship mechanics in this game. There are lots of different ways you can raise friendship, but the main one is to put them in the same in-room together. And the better your friendship level is with other players, the amount of bonuses will increase and become stronger. And also, if you want to have high friendship, do not play as the tank. Miitopia is accessible to everyone, but it can still be challenging. There's some boss fights that took me multiple tries. Also, the soundtrack is surprisingly good. This game definitely needs a sequel, maybe even more so than any of the other games on this list. Nintendo was really different in this casual era. Tons of awesome games came out of it, but also Canoeing did too. But I'd say a vast majority of Mii games are great games, and you should play them. All of these games definitely deserve sequels. Sadly, lately Nintendo's been staying away from these kinds of games, and I really hope they bring these back. These games, especially Tomodachi Life and Miitopia, definitely deserve more recognition than they get. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a really fun time making it, and goodbye.